Hey everyone, I'm Sarah and I'm at Aloha Yoga with my Aloha Yoga Unity Pro and my cork blocks. Blocks are always in my practice and I'm actually sitting on one right now. So if you have blocks or just something that you can get your hips above your knees, maybe sit on a couple couch pillows, whatever works for you, then we're gonna start in what's called an easy seat. For me, that's cross-legged. It might be sitting on your knees or sitting with your legs out long, whatever you need to just find a seat to be still in for a few moments. So go ahead and shut down the eyes and just start to notice your space. Noticing the sounds that you hear. The sounds that are in the room with you. Maybe the sounds that are in the next room or outside. Maybe the sounds within your body. And with that, as you start to notice your body in this moment, grounding down into your seat, finding some softness in the shoulders, and reaching the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And we notice those sounds and the body. We notice the noise the mind creates. And the thoughts. And start to notice your breath. Just notice where it lives naturally. Maybe it's down in your belly or up in the throat or at the tip of the nostrils. Just notice where that breath sits. And start to deepen your breath just a little bit so that the inhales are a little bit longer and the exhales are a little bit longer. And I'm going to introduce what is called box breathing. So we can just tune into our breath a little bit more. So stay breathing in and out through your nose or in through the nose, out through the mouth. And we'll inhale for the count of 4, hold at the top for the count of 4. We'll exhale for 4 and then hold empty for 4. So let's take a big breath in and a big breath out. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty. And then find a breath that is long. There's a pause at the top. long exhale and a pause at the bottom, and you set the pace for that. And that will be the pace for our practice. And so letting the breath go in and out through the nose now, restricting the back of the throat ever so slightly so that there's an audible whisper, almost like the sound of the ocean. This is the breath we want to try to stay with. All right, so in and out through the nose. Let's start to bring in a little bit of movement, maybe rolling out the wrists, the head, the neck, the shoulders, whatever just feels good as we tune into the body a little bit more. Just rolling shoulders, head, and neck. All right, and from here, we'll come into tabletop. So I'm going to turn and face the top of my mat, move my block up to the top, and come into hands and knees. And so fingers are spread wide, tops of the feet grounding down into the mat, a neutral spine. And so what I mean by that is instead of tilting or tucking, we're finding that long spine that kind of starts at the bottom of the tailbone. So think about pressing your tailbone straight back as you reach the crown of your head forward. And the arms are active here, trying to push the mat away. Gaze straight down, breathe in. And breathe out. And then as you inhale, tip your tailbone, drop your belly, lift your gaze, look up. And as you exhale, tuck your tailbone, round your spine, bring your chin to your chest, really puff up through the shoulder blades. And then long inhale, tailbone tips, belly drops, gaze lifts. We look up, exhale, tuck the tailbone, round the spine, chin to chest. Do that a couple more times. From here, we'll find child's pose. Toes together, knees wide. Walk out the hands and bring the forehead down to the mat. So this is just a really nice place for grounding, for tuning in just a little bit more, shutting down the eyes, noticing the noise, and coming back to the breath in and breath out. All right, I'm going to keep my hands right where they are. As I inhale, the shoulders are coming up over the wrists, and my feet are going to go wide. As I exhale, the hips drop, and there's a soft bend in the elbows. So we just kind of let the hips nestle in. I'm pushing the mat away, but the elbows are soft, the heart is lifted. Cobra pose. Try to look straight forward. Breathe in. Exhale, look out over to the right, back to the right heel. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, over to the left. Inhale, back to center. And then press back to your child's pose as you exhale, maybe tucking the toes under this time. As we inhale, we come forward, the feet go wide, breath in, look up. Exhale, the toes touch, press back, child's pose. Let's move through that a couple times. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. One more. Bring the forehead down to the mat. Take a nice long breath in. And a breath out. Coming back into our tabletop. This time we're going to turn the fingertips to face the body, get into the wrists a little bit. Tucking the toes under, just press your hips back towards your heels and feel that stretch all the way down the back, down the forearm, right, down the wrist, even down into the hands and the fingers a little bit. And so let's come back to our breath. Inhale, we'll shift forward. Exhale back. And so the breath is such a key part of our yoga practice. If we weren't noticing it, we'd just be moving around. We wouldn't really be practicing yoga. And so yoga is the union of breath and movement. And that union and that breath piece is really what helps us get out of our heads, into our bodies, and anchor into the present. All right, fingers come forward, untuck the toes, and we're just gonna take that right leg, kick it out kind of like a fire hydrant, and stir things around a little bit. So what you might notice is you might lean one over to the left side. So I'm using the top of my left foot to anchor down a bit and pushing evenly into the hands so that I'm not moving all over. I'm really able to get that movement in the right hip, all right? So we're still breathing in and out through the nose. The next time that right knee goes out, I'm gonna lengthen the right leg out long, place the right foot down, tuck the left toes, and rock forward and back. So lots of hip mobility that we're bringing in here. This is a great movement before a workout or before any kind of physical activity, or this is just a really nice practice for the beginning or end of the day to get into the hips a little bit. All right, the next time that you're back, hips to heels, it might feel nice just to hang out there, maybe walk the hands forward a little bit, and we're feeling a stretch all down the inside of the right thigh. Breathe in and breathe out. And then shifting back forward. Untucking the toes, press into the top of that left foot, and the right foot's just gonna go straight back. We're looking straight down, pushing evenly into the hands. Take an inhale, and then as you exhale, take your right foot over off the left edge of your mat. Press your right heel away from your body, and now we're stretching the outside of that left hip. So a little rocking forward and back, bringing movement to the joints, grounding into the hands and feet, and trying to stay with that breath. All right, come back to your tabletop. Take a round of cow pose. Tip your tailbone, drop your belly, look up. Exhale, angry cat. Kind of flush all that out. All right, we'll switch sides. Stir with that left knee. So it's almost like if you're thinking about the top or the front of your knee is tracing a big circle on whatever's next to you. So maybe the wall, or just, visualize that big circle tracing. Breathing. And then we're out into that fire hydrant. Kick the left foot straight out, drop it down, tuck the right toes, and we rock. This might be another space to flip the fingers towards the body, stretching the wrist. Try to stay breathing in and out. And obviously we're breathing, right? Can you keep your awareness on your breath? Keep coming back to it. So whether we're sitting in stillness for meditation or on our mat practicing, it's just that awareness of the thoughts, and it's the awareness of coming back to the breath. It's a practice. All right, fingertips come forward, untuck the back toes, take that left foot straight back, inhale, exhale over to the right. And so really think about sticking that right hip back towards the right corner of your mat to deepen that stretch. All right, we'll come back into our tabletop, take a round of cow and cat. Back into our child's pose. Hands reach forward, forehead down to the mat. All right, so now we're gonna take it up a little bit, coming into our down dog. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, and let's just start by pedaling out our dog, bending one knee and then the other. And we're gonna do similar movements that we were just doing on the floor, except now we're a little bit lifted, all right? So the right foot's gonna go up to the sky, bend your knee, open up your hip, and stir things around. So I'm looking back at my left big toe, can feel my finger pads grounding down into the mat. I'm pushing into the knuckles, that foundation nice and solid. Good, and then inhale, lengthen out for three-legged dog. On an exhale, bring your knee to your nose, shoulders over wrists, and drop that shin straight down, all right? From here, you're gonna take your right foot and kick it out to the right, and bring your right hand down, left hand to the sky for modified side plank. And so it might feel nice to take some big circles with that left arm. Think about pushing the mat away. And as I'm bringing awareness to that left shoulder, I'm also pressing down into my left pinky toe. And then let these circles go back like a big backstroke. All right, and that backstroke is gonna bring us all the way up. The front or the left knee is gonna bend and we're in a supported warrior two. And we're just gonna rock a little bit again. So again, great for hip mobility. This grounded warrior two, fingertips reaching in opposite directions. And we're using the right glute to pull back. So we lean forward a little bit and then we pull back to that center. Stay breathing. All right, now your inhale is your modified side plank. The right hand comes down, left leg straightens, left hand reaches. Your exhale, the obliques pull you up. Find that supported warrior two at the back of your mat. Inhale, modified side plank, real big reach. Exhale, supported warrior two. One more. All right. From here, the arms go up, the left leg straightens, turn your left toes forward, and we'll find a gate pose. Left hand comes down the left leg, right arm reaches up and over. Big side body stretch down that right side. Breathe in and breathe out. Good, one more inhale to reach. And as you exhale, find your modified side plank. Reach that left arm up and over. Take a big inhale. Now use your exhale to come up for your gate pose and reach back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, up and back. Inhale, forward. Exhale, up and back. Now bring your arms out to a T. Roll out your wrists a little bit. The hands come forward. Think about pushing somebody away, like active in the arms. From here, we'll just hinge from the hips. Both hands come down to the floor. Press your right hand down. Reach your left hand up towards the ceiling. So really pushing the ground away as the left fingertips reach up. Roll out the wrists a little bit. Stay with the breath. And now as you inhale, reach a little bit higher. As you exhale, thread the left hand behind the right elbow. We don't have to come all the way down to the ground. This is enough right here. Press into your right hand, reach up. Up to you. Exhale, come down and just thread through and reach. Inhale, press. Exhale, reach. Inhale, press. Exhale, bring the left hand down. Walk your hands to the top of your mat. Tuck your left toes under. Right leg goes up, three-legged dog. Bend and circle it around a little bit and find your downward facing dog. Let's take a full breath in and a full breath out. Inhale the heels, rise, come forward into your plank pose. Push the mat away. Exhale, lower all the way down. So we're bending the elbows straight back. Untuck the toes, slide the hands forward, push up into that big cobra. So you're pressing down to lift up. Maybe look up a little bit. Exhale, roll right back down. Good. Hands goalpost out. Come up onto the tips of your fingers. Push into the tops of your feet. Push into your fingers. Inhale, come up. Let's get into those shoulders a little bit. Drop the right shoulder down, right cheek to the mat. Inhale, center. Over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, center. Hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Press back to your child's pose. Breathe out. Inhale, come back forward, but this time keep the heels glued to the glutes. The hips drop, the elbows soften. It might feel nice to windshield wiper the feet side to side. Stay with your breath. Bring it back to center, toes drop. A little bit of a child's pose for just a beat, and then we're in our downward facing dog. Full breath in. And full breath out. All right, just take a second here to come back to your breath, to recenter, to feel your foundation. Maybe take a moment to just notice right and left side of the body. All right, we'll move on to that other side. Left foot lifts, inhale, three-legged dog. Bend and open, stir it around. So a little less guidance from me on this side. That muscle memory is there. Inhale, lengthen out nice and long. As you exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists, drop the shins straight down. All right, we're kickstanding the left foot out, left hand down, right hand lifts, modified side plank. I like the word grounded side plank, just so it doesn't feel less than the side plank, right? It's just nice to feel strong in this shape, grounded and supported, lifting, pressing, reaching, breathing. All right, we have supported warrior two at the back of our mat. So we're gonna come up, bend the right knee, hinge forward a little bit, and then pull back. So it's almost like someone's playing tug of war with their fingertips. Reaching and pulling, but that pulling is happening by the left glute, pulling everything back to center. Breathe. All right, now modified side plank at the top of the mat. Left hand down, right leg straightens and reach. And then supported warrior two. So the shift is happening with the foot turning forwards and to the side, and then that big side body stretch. A couple more times with our breath. One more. All right, now straighten the right leg, arms out to a T, toes face forward, modified side plank, reach up and over, and then up into our gate pose. Right hand down the right leg, big reach. So the stretch is happening here. Now we're pressing into the left knee. Try to drop the shoulders away from the ears. Think about stretching through the ribs. Breathe in and then exhale. Take us down to the ground, big reach with that right arm. Inhale up. Exhale, reach. Inhale up. Exhale, reach. Let's find those big circles, just bringing mobility into that right shoulder. And we're grounding into the left hand, the top of the left foot. Let those circles start to go back. All right, that big backstroke is going to bring us up. Roll out the wrists. Take the hands forward. Hinge at the hips. Hands to the earth. All right, from here we'll take our twist. Left hand down. Right hand reaches up. So feel the rotation happening in the hips. Feel your feet grounded. And let's thread through a little bit. So inhale, reach high. Exhale, thread through and reach. Up. And reach. Up. And reach. One more up. Right hand down. And turn to face the top of your mat. Tuck your toes under, three-legged dog. Left foot lifts. Downward facing dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower. Point the toes, cobra, roll up. Roll right back down. Hands out to the sides on the finger pads. Press to lift up, inhale. Right shoulder drops, exhale. Up. Left shoulder drops. Inhale up. Back down center. Hands underneath the shoulders. Tuck the toes, press back. Child's pose. All right, we're coming forward again. Inhale, heels to glutes. Drop the hips. Look up this time. Push the mat away. Windshield wiper, side to side. And we'll go back to child's pose. Toes together, knees wide, forehead on the mat. And take a moment to find some stillness and breathe. And in this space, just invite in some gratitude. Gratitude for the space in your day to move and breathe and be present. Gratitude for this body and this breath. Okay, so we'll come up through tabletop just to transition onto our backs. This is a great place for a block or some pillows or whatever kind of support you have. And the block's just gonna go at the center of my mat, and I'm gonna come down onto my back. So knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. And I just wanna make sure to get this lined up best for just the shape. Touching the backs of the heels. And what I mean by that is a lot of times we use our low back to lift, and we really wanna press down into our feet and the base of the skull. So let's just practice with that here. So I got my block at the center of the mat, all right? My middle fingers are just grazing the backs of the heels, and then the hands can go wherever, all right? Feel all four corners of your feet grounding down, and notice how your tailbone might naturally just lift up, all right? Press your low back into the mat and feel the base of your skull pressing into the mat. So this active press. All right, and then think about your cat and your cow. So just let your pelvis kind of rock a little bit, tipping your tailbone, dropping the belly, and then tucking the tailbone and letting the spine just kind of move with not a lot of movement, just little shifts, little somatic movements forward and back. All right, now we're gonna press into the feet and just start to slowly let the hips lift up, not too high. Maybe squeeze the shoulders underneath the spine, press into the head. And then from here, start to lift the heels, come up onto the balls of the feet, and then let your hips lift. So it's almost like you're trying to squeeze your thighs together, and we're pressing down to lift up. Now keep your hips right here, drop your heels down to the floor, take a long breath in, and a long breath out. Maybe watch your belly rise and fall as you inhale, fill up. And then exhale, slowly vertebra by vertebra, bring everything down so your tailbone lands last. All right, now we're gonna do that with our breath. Inhale, press into the feet, the hips lift up. Exhale, roll down. Do that a couple times with your breath. Again, noticing that pause at the top of the inhale, that's the expansion part of the shape, the expression, the reach, the press. And then the exhale just kind of deflates all of that and brings us back down to the ground, and the breath is empty. All right, so the next time you press into your feet and lift your hips up, go ahead and take that block on probably its lowest setting down so that when the hips lower, you can just rest your low back on the block and let your feet just kind of move as they need. The block is pretty low on the low back. And we would just want to let that sacrum, that like sand dollar piece of fascia, ligaments, all that stuff down there feel supported, right? Supported bridge pose. And you can let your hands rest on your body or come out to the sides. And so as we weave the mindfulness back in, right, that breath and movement is like a moving meditation. And then as soon as our bodies get still, that noise comes back in, and this is where we want to just reconnect with the breath. And staying in the hips, letting the feet go as wide as your mat. We're just going to let the arms come out wherever feels good, and the knees are just gonna fall over to the right. And so not only are we getting a pretty big hip stretch here, also depending on where the corner of the block is kind of digging in, it might be getting right on that SI joint, which is super convenient. So just a little myofascial release, a stretch, and hopefully those hips are feeling a little more mobile. Just breathe. And then soles of the feet find the ground as wide as the mat, and then everything just falls over to the left. So we're on the outside of the left foot and the inside arch of the right foot. So the stretch is going down the front of the right hip, and then there's a little compression and situation happening on that left side. And just breathe. And then we'll come back to center. Get the hands flat, press into the feet, lift the hips up, move the block out to the side, And then let the hips come back down, pulling the knees into the chest. And so just shifting into the low back a little bit. You can goal post your arms out or out to a T. And just think about rocking just your hips, so below the belly button, pressing the shoulders into the mat. And we're just gonna let the knees fall all the way over to the right, gaze out to the left. Now the inhale is bringing the knees back to center, and the exhale is taking the knees over to the left, gaze out to the right. Let's do that a couple times. The next time that your knees come over to the right, I'm just gonna hang out here in a supine twist. And another great place for a block, I really like to stick blocks between the knees just so that I'm not forcing anything and I can drop a little bit more into the stretch and the shape. You can take whatever variation of supine twist feels good. This is also another place to just stretch the outside of that right hip. So it might feel nice, or left hip rather. It might feel nice to bring your right hand to your left hip and just kind of press a little bit, deepen, guide, and feel the weight of that right hand on your left knee. And then inhale, knees come back to center. I'm just gonna keep that block in there and take it over to the other side. And same thing. Same options. And then here we just downshift and prepare for rest and or meditation. All right, so let's bring the knees back into the chest and just take these next few moments to roll around and do whatever feels good. So maybe it's a happy baby, maybe it's just knees to chest. One last little hip stretch here. And then if the knees are together, drawing circles, you're gonna massage out your low back. If you wanna figure eight them around a little bit, just get into those hips one last time. And then let's just say that we're gonna meditate. And Shavasana is gonna be meditative. It can be seated, it can be laying out really big. I really like to cross my legs and just let the hips open up a little bit. And so this is whatever shape feels restful to you. And let's just take a moment here to come back to the breath. And once you're in that shape for your rest, for Shavasana or meditation, let's take a big inhale in. Big exhale out. And just stay here as long as you like. Thank you for practicing with me, and have a great day.